to be here celebrating a good bill we're going to be able to sign to help our efforts to protect Biscayne Bay. I want to thank all the folks here. We have Noah Valenstein, DEP Secretary, going to be fair winds and following seas to him after this week, but we appreciate his service. We have Sean Hamilton, who's going to be the acting. Where are you, Sean? Thank you. I have Scott Wagner from the South Florida Water Management District Governing Board, as well as fellow board members Ben Butler, Cheryl Meads. Is Drew Bartlett here? Did he get? Drew made it? Okay, we were just at the Python Challenge out in the Everglades, and so they corralled the python, and it was starting to head towards the media out there, and then they were able to do. So we were able to do that and launch the challenge. And then I think in terms of elected, I saw Eliana Garcia, Senator Garcia. We had a couple other folks, but, you know, Miami traffic is what it is. So this is the largest estuary in the state of Florida. This is an international destination serving 3 million residents and 16 million visitors annually. It contains the largest passenger port in the world. It's an international sailing destination, and residents and visitors alike recognize and benefit from its ecological and recreational importance. So today, I'm pleased to be able to sign House Bill 1177, which provides increased protections and directs additional financial resources to Biscayne Bay, a critical natural resource for this region. The bill calls for the creation of a commission dedicated to Biscayne Bay, tasked with bringing federal, state, and regional stakeholders to the table to strengthen ongoing efforts to protect the Bay. The Commission's first order of business will be a review and consolidation of existing programs and projects into a strategic. This legislation builds on the momentum of the $20 million that we announced in December of 2020. And then I'm happy to also report the budget that I signed yesterday contains an additional $20 million in state funding for Biscayne Bay protection efforts. And so we're excited about the momentum that we have. We want to continue to do it. This is part of a larger, I think, string of successes that we've had, both in terms of the overall budget across the board, but particularly in terms of protecting our water resources, improving water quality, and Everglades restoration. We ended up doing not only more than anyone thought we would be able to do a year ago, but actually even more than I called for just in my own budget in January, because I think that the legislature has really bought into the need to be doing this. So we just were able out there for the Python Challenge. We did $415 million for Everglades restoration projects, over $700 million for water quality all in, including Everglades. So it's really, really a big success, and so we're excited for that. I want to thank the legislators for being able to get it done, and I think we're really going in a good direction on a lot of this stuff. We did announce the Python Challenge just a little while ago. That's flpythonchallenge.org if people want to sign up. Last year was the record for python removal in the state of Florida. I think it was about between 30 and 40% increase over 2019. So we really want to get those numbers up. We're also working with different ways to be able to identify pythons. I know their FWC is working with University of Central Florida to try to do something where you have the computers involved, and I know they're also working with dogs, FWC working with dogs to be able to identify these pythons. They're not easy to identify when you're out there, and so once you do that, that's really most of the battle for a lot of these folks. So we're going to continue to work hard on that. I want to thank Noah. He's going to say a few words, and then Senator Garcia for really helping to lead the effort in the legislature to get this bill for Biscayne Bay passed. So Noah.
Thank you, Governor. Again, my name is Noah Valenstein. I have the privilege of serving as Secretary for the Department of Environmental Protection. I think this is a great example of two wonderful things about Florida and the environment. First is you couldn't ask for a better backdrop than Biscayne Bay. It is the resource that brings people to Florida from around the world. It creates that vista, the recreational opportunities, the economic impact, and it shows how intertwined our environment and our economy and our way of life are here in Florida. This particular issue is also a good example of what a great leader the governor is. a year ago in talking with our strong local partners, and I know I saw Jim Murley, who's the Chief Resiliency Officer, and I believe the Chief Bay Officer, Irela, is also here, and having conversations about seeing some decline in seagrass coverage or recent fish kill, we immediately went into action and said, what can we do now? And that's really been the governor's philosophy, was to jump on something, to immediately take action, and that resulted in a $20 million commitment in the current fiscal year to partner with the local communities and come up with a myriad of projects, everything from coral, water quality monitoring, stormwater, wastewater, septic, to start improving conditions and making sure that we have a resilient bay. That then led to, wasn't just let there, and so many years in the past that would have been it. That then led with legislative support immediately into both the Biscayne Bay bill to make sure that we have a council for even stronger coordination between the state and the local government, but also $20 million in funding to make sure we can grow from where we were in the current year. That just simply didn't happen in the past, doesn't happen without strong leadership from the governor and the legislature to identify an issue, to get on top of it, to provide funding, and then to make sure that you have that strong local partnership between the mayor, between the chief resiliency officer, the Bay officer, and the state and the legislature, and say, go forth and do good. Governor, thank you so much.
Okay. Senator?
Thank you so much. Well, today is a very special day. As Noah mentioned, it is a very special backdrop for many. I'm sure you have it as a backdrop in pictures, especially for those that came in from, let's say, Cuba back in the 70s. I know I have a lot of pictures with my parents with this beautiful background. So for me, it's an honor. And today marks a victory in establishing the Biscayne Bay Commission, which will bring fundamental change to the way that we approach restoring our bay. The Biscayne Bay Commission will serve as an advisory council to coordinate and advocate for both new and existing plans meant to fix historic issues that have led to the deterioration, of water quality and biodiversity. For decades, incongruent or even contradictory actions and policies have created unnecessary stumbling blocks in bringing long-lasting change. The Biscayne Bay Commission will serve as the official clearinghouse for all public policy and projects related to the bay and its surrounding areas. So their consolidation of planning and financing will allow Floridians to take a unified approach in improving Biscayne Bay. Lastly, from this day on, sewage disposal facilities will be prohibited from discharging any effluent into the bay or its tributaries without providing the advanced wastewater treatment that serves to stem the continued nutrient pollution that is choking our watershed. Together in cooperation with our local government and residents of Miami-Dade, I know that we will work towards ending this crisis and begin the long road to recovery to a healthier bay. I want to express my deepest thanks to Governor DeSantis for his unwavering support for the environment, to my colleagues across the aisle for working in a bipartisan manner with only the best interests of South Florida in mind, and to the people of South Florida for their continued engagement in conserving what is not just part of our home, but of our shared identity. Thank you very much.
All right, good job. All right, we're going to go ahead and knock this out. So you're going to get the first pen. We got the 3rd now?
Yes.
June 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay. Time flies when you're having fun. Good job.
Done?
Yeah. There you go. Oh, you want to go over there? For you. Good job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, who else do we got? Parting gift? You got a lot of gifts. There's one for you. Who else wants it? Charlie? Anyone else? All right, we'll do it. Well, and I also want to thank the board members for what they're doing for South Florida Water Management District. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff over the last couple years. We've got more that is going to be coming down the pike. If you look at the funding that we have for this year and the momentum, I mean, we're going to have some of these key projects completed in a schedule I think that most people didn't think was likely. So the momentum continues. We're going to continue working hard. Thanks to Senator Garcia. Thank you for your leadership on this. We appreciate it very much. Michael.
Governor, good morning.
Hey.
Good to see you.
wanna talk about how your vision is?
Basically, it's just oversight. It's state oversight, and it will work in conjunction with, but with obviously the new officials coming in. The appointed person on behalf of the governor, Noah Valentine, of course, overseeing the different agencies, and the different agencies putting their part alongside the one of the designated efforts that we have with the city commissioners, and also the designated person from the League of Cities. It's an effort for all, with all. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
So the role of Irela Bagay, Senator, in this?
Irela Bagay continues to be a fundamental part of this, obviously. The oversight, the principal oversight being the state oversight, but definitely Chief Irela Bagay continues to be a fundamental part, and we thank her fully for her efforts for the last 20 years. Along with another one that was champion on this the whole time was Commissioner Rebecca Sosa.
Yeah, and we've worked well with the county. I mean, when we were here in December, we had Mayor Cava here. They put money in the kitty, and so we have no question that the county, that this is a priority for them. We obviously are going to continue to support. And what I would always tell when we were getting the money from the federal government, particularly under the Trump administration, I always said, Florida, if you put money in the kitty and you show them you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, it's much easier to get folks to then say, okay, we'll help you. And it's the same thing. You know, there are some localities, Miami-Dade they always want to put something in. And so that makes it a lot easier for us to be able to do. Some other localities want us to do all of it for them. And some states want the federal government to do everything for them. That's not our vision, but yeah, we believe it's a good relationship, and we're going to continue to do that, not just for this, but for other stuff. I signed into law a couple weeks ago the Resilient Florida program to really help protect the whole state, but particularly areas in South Florida, Tampa Bay, that are susceptible when we have storms, flooding, all these different issues, to be able to build infrastructure that can fortify and make us more resilient. So we'll be working together with the local governments on that as well. Javier?
Question off topic. Democrats are accusing you of targeting the gay community because you signed the transgender bill on the actual first day of Pride Month. Can you speak to that? Is this targeted by you, or?
So what we did with the girls' sports bill is, I mean, we're standing up against discriminating against our women athletes, because the fact of the matter is, if you force them to participate against biological males, that's fundamentally unfair. That's not a level playing field. And we actually had one of the track athletes who came in third. She would have gone to New England Regional. She was in Connecticut, and the two people that beat her were biological males. So that's not fair. So I think standing up against discrimination of our women athletes, I think that's the right thing to do this month, next month, and any month.
Governor,
Yes, sir.
how much of this commission do you think is going to be identifying resources? I mean, clearly you have agencies like the South Florida Water Management District, which already has this funding stream. Could be very big projects to talk about the pollution. The water's right behind you, it's killing seagrass and wildlife.
Yeah, no, I think that they should be. They have an opportunity to look at this holistically. I mean, you see this in government in different ways. I mean, for example, with mental health, we added mental health funding, record funding for schools, $120 million. We did other stuff. And throughout the whole budget, there's like $2.5 billion for substance abuse mental health. It's not always working in concert. My wife, the First Lady, has done a great job to try to work to do that. So I think it could have a similar impact here. There's different streams of money. Yes, South Florida Water Management has money, DEP. We're going to have other grants now available. So to be able to say, here's the vision, and then you can get people to maybe direct resources in an effective way, I think that would make a lot of sense.
And a follow-up, I noticed that Key Biscayne Mayor Mike Davey is not here today. What role do you see for municipalities? I know the commission creates seats for municipalities to participate.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we want all the stakeholders, everyone that cares about this, you know, if people want to come in and be productive and help, if a municipality wants to help out, we obviously would want to welcome any type of support that we can get.
Hey, Governor, the mayor of Miami Beach is asking the Biden administration to reject the gaming compact. It was hijacked by would-be casino operators here, like the Palm Blue, Trump's
What basis is that? Is there any basis to say that? Is there anything in the compact that you can point to say it was hijacked? In fact, they're not getting anything out of this. This has nothing to do with that. That is just pure idiotic politics.
But why do you say that? Because the compact does say that the tribe would not object to a casino geographically.
And then what did the legislature do in terms of the bills that they passed? Did they allow or authorize any type of movement of any type of thing? No. In fact, they pretty much restricted it. So there's not going to be any type of transfer within Miami-Dade County. The legislature flatly rejected that. And so the compact, when you're doing a compact, what you have to do is, and this is what they didn't do in the one from 10, 12 years ago. There are all these landmines. So then they end up having this issue with the pari-mutuels and the designated player games, and the tribe just stopped paying. And you know what the tribe did was smart. They're very shrewd. They took a foot fault under the compact and relieved themselves of duty to pay at all. So you have to look to see what are the different landmines that could happen. So I don't know what would happen with any of that. That's a decision for the legislature. But if there was something, why would I want to agree to a compact that's going to trigger a violation potentially, especially for things I may not be able to control in the future? Who knows what will end up happening? So it is ridiculous. If you look at what the legislature did, that is totally not the case. I think it's just an example of, some of these partisan politicians always trying to elevate themselves with any type of cheap headline they can get, trying to inject Trump into this. Can you guys, they just can't help themselves with some of this stuff. It's idiotic. The fact is, this was a compact that was much, much better than the previous compact. And if you look, it got 38 votes, 38-1 in the Senate. It got every Democrat who voted actually voted for it too. A lot of this gaming's going on. The Tribe's casino in Tampa is the most profitable casino in the United States of America. And as of before the compact, they're paying nothing, basically, because the old deal broke down. So now we have an opportunity. A lot of this stuff's going on anyways. So now we have an opportunity to guarantee $500 million a year, and that's going to end up being $1 billion in relatively short order on this, and do it in a way that is basically getting revenue to the state for operations that are occurring within our state that are very, very profitable. So I think it was the right thing to do, and to not have any payments at all. The good thing is we were able to get a good deal because we were not desperate for any of the money. Normally this stuff happens when the state's in a deep hole. People thought we may be in a deep hole last year, but we actually are very strong. So we had the opportunity to say, look, it's in the best interest of the state to do this. We don't need a deal. We were able to walk away, but if we can get one, let's do it and let's move forward. And I think the tribe was of the same mindset. Obviously, there's benefits in this to them. They're a big, their Indian tribe is very, very big in terms of their business operations, and so it's probably good for their stability too. But the idea rejected by Biden's administration is nonsense. And in fact, the tribe has been working with Interior throughout this whole time. There was never anything about this deal there were any red flags on. So I would just tell people, consider the source on some of this stuff. Don't be misled by any of these self-interested politicians just looking to improve their profile. Thanks.
The cruise industry wants to sell, sir. What do you say to the cruise industry? The leadership wrote you a letter today here from South Florida, and everybody's looking to cruise.
Who's the one suing CDC to open the ports? I've been fighting for this for 9 months. They're able to sail. No, they can do it under current Florida law. They are absolutely able to do it. They all have operations to be able to handle it. I can tell you, I've spoken with executives on almost all the major cruise lines. They're ready to go. The problem on this the whole time has been the CDC. They've mothballed this industry for over a year. And then, we were in mediation with them. They were very unreasonable about some of the things that they were asking about to insist upon. And so they can sail in Florida. We want them to sail. I wanted them to sail 9 months ago. And the idea is that people do. Here's also the thing, if you talk to them, this whole vaccination issue is it's somewhat of a red herring, because in their research, over 90% of the people that want to cruise have already been vaccinated at this point. So that's going to end up taking care of itself. You don't need to discriminate against people, and you shouldn't. CDC actually says they count the kids. So you can't, I mean, people can't bring their families on these cruises. So what we're doing in court, we think we're going to get a favorable ruling in the district court that will open up the ability for sure for these ships to be able to sail. But just make no mistake about this. Had we not done what we did, and I think all those cruise lines would admit this, had we not done what we did by suing, you would not be talking about sailing right now. The CDC was not moving. They were not budging. They were non-responsive. We got to the point where, okay, we said we wanted to do it. I did the event at the port a few months ago. You had all these folks that wanted to get back to work, so we said we want to get them back to work. And we sued, and I think they realized that they're probably not going to win in the district court, but they definitely won't win on appeal in the 11th Circuit, given the situation. So we think we have the pathway. If we win this case that's in Tampa now, it's going to be open. They're going to be able to do it, and they'll be able to handle it. Every one of them I've talked to has the ability to operate. It's simply the CDC, what they're doing, and some of it is really, really ridiculous. I mean, saying you have to wear a mask when you're sunbathing, I mean, some of this stuff they've actually put out there. Even though you have Fauci in his emails is admitting the masks don't even stop COVID, even though he was, getting all the kids to be masked for all this time against the basic stuff. So we're going to be sailing hopefully very soon, but there's not been a single elected official in this country who's done more to liberate the cruise lines from a bureaucracy that is totally out of touch and that, quite frankly, is exercising authority that they do not possess under the law. Thanks, guys.
Hi, how are you? Good. I'm doing, I haven't talked to you. I'm doing a story about the budget. Are there any projects that you got money for that you have to talk? Can we just talk about it quick? Sure. Okay, thank you. Yo ustedes algo sobre el presupuesto, no sé si tienes otro tema que quizás no te... Lo mismo en el presupuesto. Sabemos que el presupuesto, el gobernador lo firmó, hay mucha lucha por este presupuesto para tu distrito. ¿Hay algo que se aprobó, que te... ¿Cómo lo es? ¿Que luchaste por tu distrito? Sí, bueno...